Hello. Thank you for taking the time and checking this out. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to me in this now. Welcome to your now. So I'm Jane, for those of you that don't know me, and if you do, hey! I wanted to hop on here quickly because I want to share something that kind of came to light today. So, you know, I teach about basically like body, mind, spirit, alignment, quantum spirituality, you know, how we heal ourselves, align ourselves, live our purpose, live our path, create a new reality, the new earth, and how we can heal and shift every single thing around us when we are in alignment, when we have the trifecta of us, the body, mind, and spirit in alignment, working through the central channel of the body, the embodiment, right? So I had something come up today and it was doubt. I was speaking with someone and they are just such a beautiful love nugget, and they're just completely honest and authentic and just present, and there's something new for me to experience with that person. And so I had this doubt come in that was like, you don't need to believe this person, or they're just saying this, they're just blowing smoke up your ass. So like literally this voice came in of doubt. I call it the little voice. Used to be the big voice. So little voice came in that was like "Mer, mer," about this person. Then bigger voice came in and was like, silly goose, like you are literally attracting reflections of who you are at all times. And are you a liar? Do you tell the truth? Are you living authentically? And then Jane was like, yeah, I really am. Like, I am. And so I got to answer the bigger voice, which kind of put the little voice and just said, hey, like, I'm not saying that you're doubt, you're wrong, you're stupid. I didn't internalize it, but I acknowledged it. And then it kind of went away. So I was talking with this person about these voices. And it was so beautiful because they reflected back to me. They were like, hey, when those voices come up, can you share them with me? Kind of like I did. But can you share them with me so that I can help you through it too? So you can have more support in like kind of like which voice do we hear? And it really got me thinking. And I've been expanding on this morning at my men's group that I have. And we have this beautiful body, right? We have this beautiful spirit. We have an emotional body, that's always a doozy. And we have a mental body. And I really feel like that's the one thing that we can always consistently work with, hone, shift, transmute, refocus, realign. It's our thoughts. The thoughts that came in for me, I had the big voice and the little voice. I had the doubt and then the knowing, like the truth, the higher self. And then I had my egoic voice, the fear-based voice, the doubtful voice, the skeptic. And it was up to me to decide to, one, realize that I was having these two different voices playing out, and which voice am I going to pay attention to? It's like it's like a proverb, I don't know if that's the right word, but about the, you know, if you have two wolves, which one do you feed? That's the wolf that grows. Which voice did I feed? You know, I really paid attention to that bigger voice, the higher self voice, my higher self voice. You can call it your higher self source, the infinite, the I am presence flowing through, that I kind of said, okay. So we have these voices in our head. And when we can take these voices in our head, be a neutral observer to them, and then consciously decide which one am I going to follow, which one am I going to feed, which one am I going to expand upon and root down into the new reality that I'm consciously creating. I feel like that's where we have this superpower. Like that is one of our human superpowers, is to consciously direct our thoughts. Doesn't mean that we don't have the traumas to heal through, and the daily life things that come up, and the struggles and the darkness and the muck and the depression and the sorrow and the grief and the addictions and the distractions and all of these things. That's life. All that's going to be bebopping around us. However, how do I see it? How does my mind wrap around that stuff? Does my mind wrap around and hate it and talk about how I'm not good enough to get through it, how I don't deserve to get through it, how I'm alone? Or does my mind say, yeah, you're going through this, you're witnessing this, and you have never been stronger, you've never been more supported, you've never had as much as you have right in this very now moment, although it may feel like you don't have anything. It's up to me to choose my thought form that I kind of grab and pull into my embodiment, right? So if I'm picking up the thought form of doubt and judgment, if I don't like what this person's doing, I don't agree with them, they're wrong, they should be different, I can't do this because of them, then that's the thought form that I literally put into my body, into my mental body, my physical body. My spiritual body's like, I don't know what you're doing, but whatevs. The emotional body, because now I'm going to start to get all pissy pants and grumble butt. And then my embodiment is reflective of that thought form that I've taken down and put into me. And as I am the embodiment of those heavier density thought forms, that not only is going to be the reality that I continue to perceive and project outside of myself, but I kind of like sit in the middle of that muck and that chaos that I just complain about all the time. Now, if the thought form that I choose to focus on, that I glean to, that I grab and I pull in, if that thought form is of a higher vibrational consciousness, it's my higher self, it's the bigger voice, the bigger than me voice. And that's what I glean to, and that's the one that says, it's all fine. The ising all around me, and it is just what it is. I can't control it because then that equals suffering, and I'm not into that. Thank you, Buddha, for that one. And I grab onto the thought forms that say, I'm going to accept all that is. And the people that are getting on my nerves, that I don't understand, that are still in their judgment, that is me as well. It may be me from a different timeline, a different expression of me, a different embodiment when I was still taking on these lower vibrational thought forms and taking them on as my own, by my own unconscious choice. But as a conscious decider of the reality that I'm creating, and when I grow and grab, when I grab on, I then grow from. When I grab onto these higher thought forms that are of the higher self nature, that are like, yeah, everything is love. Everything is love. Even those heavy density thought forms and the doubt and the skeptic and the judgment, that's still love. Then I start to really integrate my higher self via thought forms into my physical body. My emotional body starts to reflect that. I start to feel more calm, more peace, more ease, more joy. I feel the abundant nature of me and the life that is around me. My mental body shifts because now I'm creating new neural pathways based on the consciousness that I'm choosing to integrate into me. And by choosing it consciously, doing it in through a creative way, I'm integrating both hemispheres, especially when that's my intuitive side because I'm listening to the higher voice. I'm integrating both aspects of my brain, activating my pineal gland, allowing me to see the nature of all that is around me, which allows me to drop it into my heart. And then my physical body moves throughout space and time with a more easy, more peaceful, more joyful kind of groove. And then I am living the embodiment of the higher self-consciousness. It's so powerful when we choose what thought forms we go to, because that's the only thing we can change. The old storyline that I used to have, which was they made me do this and they made me feel that way. When my mom did this, that's why I turned out this way. When my brother did that, that's why I turned out this way. And victim, 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 blame, 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 martyr. I was just holding on to the thought forms, and my embodiment reflected that. I weighed like 60 pounds more than I do. My eyesight literally couldn't see well. My gums were receding because everything I spoke was in alignment with the heavy density. My body physically ached. I saw judgment all around me, judgment back to me. People would judge me everywhere I went. I was judging everything around me. I was really good at that program. Flipping the script and going into this higher level of consciousness by consciously choosing it. No longer saying, they do this and so I can't. They do this and so they make me all pissy pants. The weather is raining, so now I'm going to be grumbly. It's the same thing. It's taking the condition outside of self and saying, because this is so, I'm not going to feel good. I'm not going to love it. I can't. Nope. Then I'm holding myself small, and I'm holding myself in to this thought form of lack. The lackful thought of, I can't do it. I don't have the power to control my thoughts. I may not be able to control my feelings around something. If I have a plan to go outside and hike and it starts to torrentially downpour, I'm going to physically feel and emotionally feel disappointed. But it's up to my thoughts to say, hey, this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for me to do something else. Maybe it's an opportunity for me to dance in my house, or to write, or to draw, or to do work, or whatever the case is. But it's my conscious choice. And that's where the paradigm completely shifts in our human life, like on the collective level. That's where we start to see these massive changes in our realm, in our reality. It's tapping into the superheroes and our superpowers that we have innately. Like, I feel like that just, I don't know, it's been coming in a lot today already. In the past couple of days, just the power of our mental body, when we let our spiritual body, our higher self, our heart, love, decide where it goes. When we welcome that thought form in, let it drop down and even transmute it, because sometimes we can't hear that bigger voice. Sometimes that egoic voice is the bigger voice. It's the louder voice. Mine was really loud for most of my life. It was really loud, actually. And so I lived by that louder voice. And it just reminds me of kids. Like, you know, sometimes if a kid can just say, hey, I'm hurting, I can be of more of service. But if a child is just screaming at the top of their lungs, I don't know what to do. I'm like, I want to help you, but I don't know what you need. Are you hungry? Did you poop yourself? I don't even know, you know? And so it's kind of like if I'm just living by that loud, screaming, egoic, lack, judgmental, fear-based voice of stagnation, I don't go anywhere, you know? I think transmuting that, or at least transmuting it to a neutral space, you know? So if I, like today when those doubtful thoughts came up, you know, if I didn't hear that higher, bigger voice, I still could make a choice and say, Jane, you're listening to doubt. And then I always call it Dalbit, because the B is silent, but I think silent letters are just silly. Like, I feel like they all deserve to be heard. So I call it Dalbit, and I'm like, damn it, Dalbit, why'd you make yourself known? And then I start laughing, and then I transmute it because I said, damn it, Dalbit, and I shift it. And so now that voice is no longer burker, doubt. I've literally laughed it away. And so then I can at least come to neutral and remind myself consciously that all is well. I am trust. Therefore, this person is safe for me to trust. Different than listening to intuition that says, back away, not safe, different voice. That's tapping into intuition. Anyway, I wanted to share that today about the big voice, the little voice, the ego, the higher self, our magical capacity to shift at any given moment our thoughts. Thought precedes matter. If my thought shifts, my physiological system will completely shift. The energy that goes through from those electrical impulses from shifting a thought, because it's electricity in water shifts the water. We're mostly water. So then it changes our entire cellular structure at its core. Not only that, it changes our DNA, because part of what binds the DNA, the adenine, guanine, cysteine, and tyrosine, those are hydrogen based. Hydrogen's a big component of that water. It's like a 2-for-1. That was an H2O joke if anybody got that. Anyway. So when we change our thought forms, we change our entire well-being. Our emotional state shifts. And when our emotional state and our physiological state shifts, we change our nervous system, our endocrine system. Our adrenals start doing things differently. Our cortisol levels shift. We start to produce endorphins and feel-good chemicals and hormones throughout our entire being. We flood ourselves with wellness through a conscious decision on what thought form we were going to choose to put into our body via our mind. It's like they say in the Bible, you know, it started with a word. It's like Om. It's the sound of creation. It's all sound. It's what comes first, like the chicken or the egg, the thought or the word? I guess you kind of have to have the idea before you say it. Sometimes they happen at the same time. That's another story. Anyway, so I wanted to put this out there. So hopefully it's of service with all that's going on, which totally makes sense. I'm having a BDSM squared event tomorrow night here in Charlotte, which we do breath work, a discussion about what's going on in the collective and the cosmos. I do a sound meditation and a little bit of movement to kind of connect into the body. As you all notice, I move around. Anyway, which is weird. Like when I sit, I can't move as much, but when I stand, I'm all over the place. Oh, it's way energy channels through my body is through movement. But anyway, so I'm having this gathering tomorrow, and it's like a community meditation where we do a little bit more than just like come in, sit down, be quiet, and then leave. It's a little bit more interactive and participatory. But something that keeps coming in is it's a heart and third eye activation. It's a heart and third eye activation. That makes sense. I'm talking to myself here a little bit, but like that makes sense because of all this information about like which voice do we listen to? How do we drop it in? How do we center it in our hearts and live from that space? How do we be from the heart? We know that we are made of love. We know that we're supposed to do this and we're supposed to do that. But here's the thing. You got to drop that shit into action. I can go to a yoga class all day and get my zen on the mat. Cool beans. But when I got to go to like the gas station and the pump isn't working, I got to go inside and talk to the people and blah, 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 blah. It's how am I embodying the practice? That's where we make the difference. That's where I think creativity comes from, because otherwise we're stagnating and we die. Culture stops. I think that we're breeding a new culture of human that is more loving and more compassionate, which means that we also get to see all the other thought forms that people are dropping in and living as and being in that are just a heavier density, right? That like the doubt and lack and fear and judgment, all that stuff that comes in that people are still living with, and they're still attaching to those thought forms. They're still taking those thought forms and bringing them into their reality, shifting their physical body, their mental body, and their spiritual body, and their emotional body for sure. It's being able to be wherever the I am is in witnessing my own voices, but also remembering that I am just a witness for others. I am not here to judge them, no matter how much I may not like them. No matter how much their expression of who they are is not in alignment with me or my higher self or my belief system or my faith or my trust or my unconditional love for all beings. Someone may not be there. It's not up to me to judge them, because then I literally become exactly in the thought form that they are in for themselves and others. I don't need to put that shit in my body anymore. My emotional body doesn't need to be vibing with judgment. Like I've been there, done that. It's a thought form that we get to grow through by taking these higher levels of consciousness, of thought forms, of frequencies that are higher vibing, and bringing them into ourself and living through it. I feel like I've just repeated the same thing like 15 times just now. Anyway, so that's why I'm having my event tomorrow, so that we can take these energies, talk about it, get feedback, get support, share, and then drop into a beautiful guided meditation. I say it's beautiful because I'm channeling literally what I am seeing, so it's different every time. I'm not reading some bullshit script of a meditation. I'm channeling what is coming in for the collective, for the group, for everyone in that space, and using frequency-minded music by listening to Smile, which y'all know I love that. But like using this beautiful music to facilitate that energetic shift into the body, so that as we shift into those thought forms and those higher vibrations, and we take it in, we shift our mind thoughts, right? The electrical stuff, and the electrical stuff pushes all the water, goes through that water and all of our cells, and it's like, wah! And our body's like, wah! So the frequency music that I use supports that, the cells, by like basically using like tuning forks to help move that energy through. So it's like I can go get my oil changed, and I can I could flush that system. I don't really know if they do that with oil. Transmissions they do sometimes, not mine. Anyway, but you can add transmission fluid, or you can do a whole transmission flush, right? So what I do is we do this meditation where we flush the system, put in the high vibe, anchor it into the new earth, connect it up and open up and activate. That's what I want to do, is activate the third eye even more and activate the heart chakra and really connect those two for this clear path. So if you're around, there's some tickets available. You can see it on my website, and you can also shoot me an email if it's all the same. It's all under Jane the Guide. So I would love to have 1 billion people there, because the more the merrier, and we connect in tribe and community, and we really call this energy in, and we do it with me anyway, it really amplifies the effect and like the ripple out effect. Because like when I shift, my energy shifts all around me into the ethers of forever. If I do that with 20 people, 30 people, 100 people, that ripples out even more. It's almost like whoosh. Y'all, that is quantum spirituality. That is the love right there doing the healing work. It's allowing love to come in through us, emanate out through every aspect and facet of us, through our thoughts, our words, and actions, so that we may be of service to all beings everywhere, so that we all can live happy and liberated and free, which is my purpose. So I hope that everyone is enjoying their nows. I love you all so much. I am so grateful that everyone is doing what you're doing. I just want to give you each a shout out, because I don't think that everybody remembers this. But like, just for like a minute, y'all, like look at your ass in the mirror. Not like literally your butt. You can't look at your butt. I think that'd be cool too. But like, look at you in the mirror and acknowledge what you've been through. Acknowledge what you've grown through. Acknowledge what you've experienced. Acknowledge all the hard times and the muck and the program, and acknowledge all the doubt and the judgment and the lack and the stagnation that you may be living in currently, or growing through and recovering from wherever you are. Give yourself a pat on the back for waking up on this day, because you are a gift. What you have to share in the world is a gift. You are unique for a reason. You are weird and wonky and strange as can be, because you are supposed to be. And your story matters. Your experience matters. Who you are in this world is so valuable and worthy of all the love that is. And I encourage you to not only acknowledge it by looking at your beautiful divine self, but remember that you are here to share something that you are with the world. You are here to share your story, your love, your compassion, your grace, your creativity, your pleasure. You're here to support, and you're here to be supported, and you've been through a lot. And I just want to acknowledge you for continuing on. You're doing a great job, and you're here to have fun. You're here to have a good time. You're here to learn. You're here to be. You're here to feel everything. So enjoy the ride. It's a limited time only edition of life that we go through in this body. It's not permanent. Nothing is forever. We get to have this body for a very specific amount of time, and then we say goodbye to it. So enjoy this ride. Enjoy this body. Enjoy the limbs of you. Enjoy the brain of you, the heart of you. No need to judge it anymore. It's not going to serve you anymore. It doesn't serve the planet anymore. We are one. We're all doing the best we can. And I just want to throw some acknowledgement and love out there to everybody. Because fuck yeah, we're doing a thing. So thank you for doing the thing. I appreciate it immensely. So enjoy the rest of your nows. If you are looking for any more support or assistance as you ascend to clear your blockages, your energy, your energetic body, your physical body, your emotional body, your mental body, if you know you've got something, these voices you ping pong and you can't get through it, hit me up, send me an email, schedule some time together. I want you to follow your path, your purpose. I want you to share your gift in this world. I want you to live your dream life. I want that, because then I get to witness it, and there's nothing that gets me more turned on and excited and aroused than watching people live a loving, compassionate life. It brings me so much joy. It makes me cry. It inspires me to keep on trucking. So if there's any support you are looking for in your ascension, you're changing your vibration in your ascension process, message me. I'm here for you. I want to see you feel good, feel better. So anyway, thank you so much for taking the time and checking this out. Check the links below. Leave a comment, like this, subscribe, holla, share it. Like, send this video to someone that maybe could use it. A little reminder that they're not crazy and that we're all doing the best we can. Maybe they just need a little bit of a reminder that they're perfect and whole and complete the way they are, and maybe they're not hearing it through your words. Because I don't know about y'all, but like every relationship that I've been in, most of them, like if I had something to say, if I was like, you really need to brush your teeth, you should do that, they'd be like, whatever. But then the dentist or somebody would be like, ooh, gross, you should brush your teeth. They'd be like, oh, I'm gonna do that. Y'all know the examples that I mean, that like how that just happened. So anyway, yeah, scroll down on the little description box and like check out the links. Like just like click on them. Like you might find something you really like. Anyway, thank you for taking the time checking this out. I appreciate you. Enjoy all of your nows. Namaste. Loka samasta sukino bhavantu. Have a good day, y'all.